everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome into Morning in the Valley. It is August the 22nd. Glad you are with us this morning. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, we are going to talk with Rob Doster from the Field of 68, his company that he founded. It's been just about 5 years ago now, and growing a little more every year. And part of that has been getting into I don't know if it's the game promotion business or at least putting on games, and especially on opening day and seizing a piece of real estate on the opening day of the college basketball season. Last year we had I guess it was the opening day showcase. This year it's an opening day marathon. Last year 3 games, this year 6 games, and in those 6 games we're going to have 3 different Missouri Valley Conference teams. Drake will be in it. Bradley will be in it. Murray State will be in it. And we'll talk with Mr. Doster here in about 10 minutes and get sort of his thoughts on the event, its continued growth, and how we got to having 3 Valley teams in that event this year. If you haven't done so already, please head on over to YouTube while you're there checking out cat videos or whatever, just videos of people falling down. We all have different niches of videos that occupy our time. But while you're there, just search out Morning in the Valley and subscribe for free to our channel there. All our past shows, we've got interview clips, all that good stuff. But you subscribe, you comment, you share, you like, all that stuff. It continues to help our little program grow. So very much appreciate your help with that. All right, headlines of the day today. And this has been in our, I guess, our accumulation of non-conference schedules, and we've gotten sort of bits and pieces, obviously throughout the last couple of months. The trickles have come out one by one. We have seen some teams here in the last couple of weeks have been able to put their full non-conference schedule out. The one I've really been waiting to see has been from what we anticipate being the preseason pick to win the Missouri Valley Conference, and that will be the Redbirds of Illinois State. And Ryan Peden's bunch put out their non-conference schedule. I believe it was yesterday. It is now officially official. And the reason that I was most intrigued to see what the finished product on this one was going to be is that, look, when you are the preseason pick, there are expectations around you in terms of what are you going to be doing in March? And obviously you want to be playing in the NCAA tournament. And in the end, you hope that the teams at the top of the league, and this is not just a singular point at Illinois State, but you hope that there will be teams at the top of the league that will go schedule and put together a schedule that metrically could, certainly got to go win some games, but metrically can help put you in a position to go win basketball games, or to go get into the NCAA tournament after you win basketball games, but to get in as an at-large team. And Illinois State, with everything coming back and as few questions in August as anybody in the league, what were they going to put together? And this was ultimately the non-conference schedule that Ryan Peden put out. And all in all, we'll take it, we'll run. Home games, you've got 5 in the non-conference. Cornell, Coastal Carolina, Eastern Kentucky, Chicago State. 1 non-Division I game. You know, I understand sometimes there's budgetary reasons. Sometimes you just get in a bind. You gotta grab one. I'd rather go find a lower level Q4 game and try to help yourself out that way. But they've got 4 Division I home games. All of them are quad 4 games. You hope you can go take care of business there. On the road, you're going to be at Ohio. And you're going to be at Long Beach State. We'll get to Long Beach in a moment. Ohio, it's a back end of a home and home from a year ago. Right now, on the Bart Torvik projection scale, it's going to be a Q3 game. But Ohio's right on that border. Out of the MAC, could climb into a quad 2 game, rather. If they can be a top 135 team as Ohio, on the road, that's going to get you a Q2 game. Long Beach is a quad 4 because Coach Peden has tied that into the trip out west when they go play USC. So that's another Q4, fine. Bad team, fine. Hopefully you go beat their brakes off, and that helps everything in the end. Where they're making their money on this schedule is on the neutral site games. We have talked about teams not interested, big boys not interested in buying the top teams in the Valley this year and not playing them. Well, somehow some way, not only did Illinois State get a game with USC, who is projected to be a top 25 team in the country, they got them on a neutral floor. Yes, it's in Los Angeles, but it's on a neutral floor. And that's going to be a quad one opportunity and a huge opportunity for the Redbirds and their long term at large potential health as we move forward. They're going to get a quad two game with Utah State as well out west. That's a huge opportunity. When they go to Orlando, they're going to get Charlotte in the opening game, which is going to be a Q4, but game two is either going to be Furman or Richmond. And both of those teams projected to be right around 125. If either of them can climb into the top 100, that's another quad two opportunity. So right now, it looks like for sure you're getting two quad twos, or one quad one, one quad two. Folks, take care of business. You can get all the way up to 4 Q1, Q2 games in the non-conference, which would be huge from a resume perspective for Illinois State. So in the end, let's go. You've got some big boys on there, at least one specifically. You go pick them off, and suddenly you're going to turn some heads in the Missouri Valley Conference and maybe around the country as a whole. So a nice schedule for Ryan Peden, and now it's time to go to work as we are 73 days away from go time. We talked about Illinois State. One of their exhibition games will be at Northwestern as they will take on the Wildcats there. Obviously, Doug Collins played at Illinois State. His son Chris, the head coach at Northwestern, so that works. Valparaiso has picked up a game at Northwestern as well, and so Valpo now will be bought 3 times this year. Kentucky, part of their MTE, they will play at Marquette. They'll play at Northwestern. So 3 bye games for the Beacons this year. Only 2 bye games the last 2 years. And so, look, in this new financial era, you got to find some more ways to maybe roll some cash into the program. I don't know what the thought process was behind that in terms of being able to get 3 games in that situation. But I don't know that Kentucky, as an MTE, they're kind of hosting it. So I'm assuming Kentucky that Valpo is getting some cash considerations out of that situation. But Valpo with 3 big names on their schedule, if nothing else now, Northwestern, Marquette, and the University of Kentucky. Then we go down the road, Southern Indiana, who is also seemingly, I don't know, a third cousin here of the Missouri Valley this year with all the teams they're going to play out of the Valley. They may play UIC down in Daytona at the Battle on the Boardwalk down there. That would be a second round game if they end up matching up. But November 26th, USI will go to Valpo. December the 7th, they will go to Indiana State. So they're a team 300 or 291 in the Torvik projections. So that is a game that our Valley teams need to be able to take care of business against USI. But the Screaming Eagles putting out their schedule here the other. Okay. Some other news from the conference of the non-scheduling variety. Murray State has announced that they will be retiring the jersey of Lamont Sleets, who played for the Racers from 1979 to 1984. And it's been a couple of years now. I guess it was during COVID, 2020, that then Murray State Athletic Director Kevin Saul put out a new protocol for jersey retirements and number retirements. And basically, the long and short of it was Murray State was starting to run out of numbers. They've got 10, 11 numbers that have been retired now over the years, and certainly in the last handful of years between, Isaiah Cannon and Cameron Payne and John Morant. It's like we're starting to run out a little bit. And of course, now the rules have changed, so you can wear any number you want to wear, but they were starting to run out. And also as a means to try to honor more guys. And, there are some great players that certainly deserve at least a jersey retirement who are good enough to have their number retired, but their number was already retired by somebody else that came after them. And so this sort of opens things up a little bit for the Murray State Athletic Department to be able to honor more guys and get a few more jerseys hanging from the rafters that are that have earned that sort of recognition. And Lamont Sleet's most certainly one of those guys. I mean, again, a four-time all Ohio Valley Conference standout, one of three guys in the history of the program to earn all league honors four times. He was number 8. He's still to this day number 8 on the Murray State's all-time scoring list, number 3 all-time in assists. And he's been in Murray State's Hall of Fame since 1994. Played for the Racers again from 79 to 84. Sort of in that generation now that's 40, 45 years ago, and a lot of current fans don't remember him. But that does not mean he was not one heck of a player and deserves to be honored by the program. So his jersey will be retired November the 7th. It'll be the first Friday night of the season. Mississippi Valley State comes into Murray State, and Lamont Sleets will get his moment there in front of the Racer faithful. Recruiting news out of Carbondale, as Scott Nagy has picked up a recruit for the 2026 recruiting class, as he has been able to get a commitment from Louisville, Kentucky's Jeremiah Jackson, a 6'4" guard. Jackson plays at St. Xavier there in Louisville. He was offered just 2 months ago. Didn't take long, and he has hopped aboard the Saluki train to play for Scott Nagy. He had early offers 2 summers ago, had offers from Cincinnati and from Ohio back in 2023. Last year, Toledo offered him, and then here in the spring and summer, picked up offers again from Binghamton and Hofstra, SIU as well, and he has chosen to play for the Salukis. He was the Region 7 Player of the Year last year in Kentucky, which surrounds a lot of the Louisville schools. So really as good of a player coming out of the Louisville area as we will have. Averaged about 14.5 points, 5 rebounds a game last year. Is that 6'3", 6'4" wing. Shot 41% from three-point range. So he is a very good scorer out of the Louisville area, staying relatively close to home, going over to Carbondale. And Scott Nagy has a pickup there for the 2026 recruiting class as we go to page 2 of the notes today. Speaking of SIU, they are aboard North Dakota State's schedule, as this will be a return game from a home and home from a year ago. The Salukis will be playing North Dakota State at North Dakota State. That'll be on November the 17th. And then one other game on North Dakota State's schedule that we learned about just a couple I think it was last week that Rocco Miller, our good friend on the scheduling side of things, hopped up and said that North Dakota State will be heading to Drake, and they will be playing at Drake on December the 13th. Again, old rivals there, as Eric Henderson, new head coach at Drake, who spent so many years at South Dakota State, will get to renew acquaintances with the folks at North Dakota State, and that will be at the Knapp Center coming up on December the 13th. Richmond has a trio of Valley teams potentially on their schedule this year. November the 28th, again, they will have Illinois State on the board, potentially down in Daytona. They will play on December the 3rd. They'll be in Nashville taking on Belmont. And then 10 days later, at home, they will get Southern Illinois. So a lot of Valley flavor there on Richmond's schedule. Again, a team that is 125-ish on the Torvik projections, and if they can just climb into that top 100, they get into that quad 2 range, and they get into an opportunity where they can really help some folks postseason resumes moving forward. Will the Spiders coming out of the Atlantic 10. We've got some news on the women's side as well, as we have Ava Learn, the former Murray State racer, who has signed her first professional contract with, and this is a first team, all name team if there was. She's going to Ireland to play for the Trinity Meteors. That is the part of the Super League in Ireland. It's the top tier women's professional league in that country. She spent some time last summer over in England doing a little bit of a work study exchange deal. And she had spent some time there, went to France, and now going to Ireland. So she will play for the Trinity Meteors, a second team, all Missouri Valley Conference standout. Last year, she played for Purdue her first two collegiate seasons, and then transferred into Murray State the last 2 years, and was part of that NCAA tournament team for Murray State last year. She was 13.7 points, 9.7 rebounds per game last year, and she did that in just 27 and a half minutes of action per game. And as we saw, or as I saw last year, those 13.7, 9.7 points and rebounds. She was the only player in the country to average those numbers and do it with no more than 27 and a half minutes per game. I mean, she was remarkably efficient last year. 13 double doubles in all for Learn. She had a 14.19 rebound, a career high 19 rebounds. Murray State won at Northern Iowa for the first time last year. So a very nice end to her college career. Ended it with a NCAA tournament trip, and now she will go to Ireland to go play with the Trinity Meteors, which I'm sure whatever gear they're selling, some Racer fans will certainly gobble that up and enjoy it. I'm sure that's some pretty good stuff with the Trinity Meteors. Rob Doster has not made it, and we are kind of rapidly running out of time this morning for him. So hopefully we'll get him on. If he does not appear here in the next minute or three, we'll get him on. Hopefully as early as next week. We've got the field of 68 and what they have done and what Rob has done, and Jeff Goodman as well, as we saw him post out just a couple of weeks ago that this is kind of about the 5-year anniversary of the field of 68, when during COVID and there were some cuts that he got let go at NBC Sports, and sort of made a hard right turn, and he and Jeff Goodman launched the field of 68, and it has become really one of the brands in college basketball. And in a lot of ways, that's what, in a very small, fragmented way, that's what we're kind of trying to do here, just in terms of the Valley. And we'll get more into things as the year goes on and be able to expand our coverage once the season actually begins. But you saw them start dipping their toe into trying to showcase some mid-major programs and programs that are kind of off the beaten path a little bit. In 2023, they had the Field of 68 tip-off at Florida Atlantic. FAU was just coming off that Final Four run, and it was a round robin deal with Florida Atlantic and with Liberty and with Charleston. And so those three teams in one site did a round robin, 3 games, and that was great. And then last year they had the opening day showcase, which they did out in South Dakota. And you had 6 teams. And you had Southern Illinois against Charleston, and St. Louis against Santa Clara, and McNeese against South Dakota State. Obviously, McNeese had an unbelievable year, able with Will Wade and getting to the NCAA tournament and winning a game there. And so, all right, well, now we've got 3 games, and we're on a neutral site somewhere out in South Dakota with 6 teams. This is great. And this year, it is expanded again, and now they are at 6 games with 12 teams, with 2 sites in completely different time zones. And that is the part that is, really has been neat to see them put together here with the opening day marathon of games there. And we're going to get, a 7 a.m. Central Time game with Winthrop and Queens. The games that are important to us, obviously, Bradley and St. Bonaventure over in Rock Hill, South Carolina. And then the Para Valley teams playing back-to-back over in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Murray State will open things up there against Omaha, and then Drake will take on Northern Arizona. And Eric Henderson, again, coaching Drake. His first game as Drake's head coach, was the coach at South Dakota State last year. South Dakota State was in this event a season ago with him at the helm. They'll be in it again this year when they'll take on Merrimack in Sioux Falls. So a lot of, when we talked with Brian Wardle a couple of weeks ago, he was, when this event came out last year, he's like, man, we want to be a part of that. And he got in it. And Ryan Miller, Murray State's head coach, saying as soon as he got the job, he was one of the very first people that was one of the first calls he got was from Doster or Goodman saying, "Hey, do you want to be a part of this?" And he was like, "Absolutely. We're going home, and you're going back to South Dakota. This is going to be in Sioux Falls, which is just an hour up the road from Mitchell, where he was born and his family still is. So really a neat opportunity for those guys to play in a place that is familiar to them, but just a huge opportunity on a huge platform. Yes, it's not on a linear TV, but it is where anybody can get it. It's going to be on YouTube. It's going to be on their X channel as well, and so going to have all kinds of eyeballs when there's nothing else going on in the college basketball world, and to be able to get these 6 games. It's one of the rare things about uh, college basketball that, man, they just probably don't do a good enough job with, is having that opening day. They used to have I think it was ESPN used to have the marathon. I don't remember if it was the first day of the year, but it was very early. They do the 24 hours, and you'd have Hawaii playing in the middle of the night, and you'd have these just great atmospheres and on campus stuff, and it was great. And this event really is allowing some really renewed focus on the sport, and it's with teams that a lot of people would not consider to be brand names, but we certainly consider them to be important, and they will be teams. Ask McNeese last year that were able to get into the NCAA tournament and go win a game and really make some noise. Will Wade able to springboard out of that and go get himself a job at NC State. This is a huge opportunity and a huge platform for all 3 of our Valley teams. Hopefully, go on and make a huge opening day statement and get the 25-26 season off and running. All right. I believe, and we're just going to check here one last time. I believe that is going to be all for today, as we are. Yep. I don't see any other no notes from Rob. So we will try to work around Rob's schedule and get him on next week and be able to talk with him about this, because again, it's a great event, an expanding event that we only can presume is going to get bigger as the years go on, but an opportunity for some Valley teams to get their shine there on the opening day of the season. All right. A lot of me yapping today. Thanks for sticking with me. If you haven't done so, please head over to YouTube, subscribe for free to Morning in the Valley. We appreciate your support. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. Coming up next week, we will talk with Robin Schur, the head coach of the women's Evansville women's program. And we know we've got her lined up for next week, and more guests to come as well, as we are now 73 days until the start of the college season. Monday, it'll be 10 weeks officially until it's go time. So can't wait. Can't wait to do it with you. And thanks for being with us today. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. And as always, thanks for watching Morning in the Valley.